From the Library of Congress in Washington, D.C.
I think before I say anything, I should introduce a very lovely young couple who have the great honor of representing Singapore to the United States. First, I introduce his lovely wife, Gauri. And her handsome husband, Ashok Myapuri. Since Ashok and Jim are co-hosting this reception, I think it's only fair that I give him an opportunity to just say a few words of greetings. So Ashok, please.
Thank you, Tommy. Tommy is one of Singapore's most distinguished ambassadors and one of my brilliant predecessors, so I have so much to learn from him. Congressman Larson, Dr. Billington, Ambassador Koh, ambassadors, excellencies, friends, and colleagues. I'm very happy to welcome you here to this reception because you've had 2 grueling days of discussing the book. Now put those books aside, and this is an evening when the embassy, working with the Singapore National Library Board, really wanted to bring you a taste of Singapore. You will see around you the signature Singapore drink, the Singapore Sling, which has been very kindly sponsored by Singapore Airlines. You will also have Tiger beer, and you will have some food from Singapore. But just in case you think that Singapore is all drink and food only, we have a young, brilliant musician from Singapore, Alan Chu, who is currently at the Peabody Institute, who will be playing the violin. We have books from Singapore, and we'll run a little short video on Singapore. All this is meant to tempt you to make your way to Singapore next year for the next time of the book. And that's really why we wanted to have this opportunity to get all of you together so that you can start making your plans. And that's why Singapore Airlines did the Singapore Sling as well, so you know how to get there as well. So all I want to say is have a wonderful evening and really start making those plans as I hand you over to the organizers to do the handing of the torch ceremony. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Ambassador, and how forward all of us are looking to going to Singapore and to your incredible country and convening a summit on the book. And if I know that it will more than live up to the expectations that have been set here over the past 2 days. Let me again thank so many people involved, but especially all the participants, all the panelists. Everybody was superb. But I especially want to thank, because we're in the Library of Congress, Roberta Schaefer, who has really spearheaded this event, and she took over from Deanna Markham, who was doing did a great job, and David Taylor and Kathy Ott, and we would be lost without Stephen Kelly. Let me tell you, on a day-to-day basis and working with the Library of Congress, he is our go-to guy, and I can never thank him enough. And I also want to thank former Ambassador Chen, who had worked so closely with us, as Ambassador-at-Large Tommy Koh knows, and we're so delighted that Elaine Ink was able to be here with us as well. And again, to thank David Rubenstein for poignantly establishing around the Summit on the Book this outstanding kind of program that he is going to be sponsoring and the rewards. It was just magnificent. Bob Forrester from Newman's Own, and we take great pride in the state of Connecticut for Paul Newman and all the work of Newman's Own Foundation and everything they did. We can't thank them enough. My counterpart, Senator Jack Reed, David Dreyer, who couldn't be here, and Rob Adderholt as well, and all the members of the United States Congress and its leadership who just truly love this institution. And I say to our colleagues from all around the globe, it is my sincere hope that we're able to convince other parliamentary bodies to come to Singapore and to do something perhaps that legislative bodies and elected officials aren't used to. Listen to what you have to say. Being part of the audience for the last 2 days has been remarkable. Thanks, C-SPAN, for covering this. But it becomes our responsibility, everyone in this room, to make sure that we spread the word. And so let the word go forth, and let us bring the torch. And Ambassador at Large Ko, it is my high honor to present you with the passing of the torch for the next International Summit of the Book to take place in Singapore in August of 2013. Congratulations.
Thank you. I think I should begin by greeting the person who is the inspiration behind the summit, Congressman Clausen. Next, I'd like to salute the legendary librarian of the Library of Congress, my old friend, Dr. Jim Billington, the dynamic and omnicompetent Roberta Schaefer, our sponsor, Mr. Robert Forrester, who may not be here. Is he here? He's not here. But could you, Roberta, relay this message to him? That the members of the Singapore community will remember that whenever we go to a supermarket, we will buy products by Newman's Own. My personal hero and our inspiring keynote speaker, Dr. Ismail Serageldin. Mr. John Chebe, the chairman of the Conference of Directors of National Libraries, distinguished librarians, and fellow book lovers. On behalf of my boss, Elaine, I have the high honor to accept the request of the Library of Congress to host the second International Summit of the Book in Singapore on the 16th of August, 2013. I join my good friend Ashok in extending a very warm welcome to all of you to please come and join us in Singapore. And now, in accordance with my wife's standing instruction, I will make 3 points. First, Jim, I'm sure I speak on behalf of all the foreign participants at this summit, that the inaugural summit that you have convened is a great success. It has been a festival of learning, a festival of mutual learning. We from the Singapore team will learn many lessons from this successful summit. We will consolidate what has been achieved, and we will try, if it's humanly possible, to raise the second summit to an even higher level. My second point, I listened very carefully to all the speeches and the discussions in the last 2 days. And I think we arrive at many points of convergence. Many points of convergence. Let me try to summarize what for me are the most important points of convergence. We agree that the book is one of the highest achievements of human civilization. We are committed, we are all committed to wiping out the scourge of illiteracy. And it is not enough. It is not enough. It is not enough for our citizens to be literate, but we must all work together to nurture in our citizens a love of books and a lifelong habit of reading. We agreed that the book will never become extinct, although its form will change and has changed. We also agreed that we will not resist but embrace technology. There will always be a place for the physical library, for the physical book, or as the codex, as Ismail calls it, which will coexist alongside the virtual library, the digital library, the e-books. I, for one, as a dinosaur, believe that no virtual library can replace a physical library. When you walk into the great reading room, either here or in London or in any great library, there is a sense of awe. There's a feeling that you are entering into a fellowship, a society of fellows. No virtual library can communicate this aura, this sense, this inspiration to you. And my next point I take from Ismail, and Jim, I must try to convince you. We should have faith in our youth. We should have faith in our youth. We should not feel alienated or intimidated by their fascination with technology. And there are impatience. The wisdom I wish to share with Jim is our young people will change and they will mature and become more like us. My third and last point, I want to conclude by sharing with you some preliminary ideas, some preliminary thoughts about the Singapore Summit next year. Singapore is situated at the confluence between Northeast Asia and Southeast Asia. between South Asia and Southeast Asia. It is a crossroads between the East and the West. We are a small microcosm of the world. And we will try to take advantage of our strategic location to convene next year a dialogue of civilizations about the future of the book and the future of the library. We will also attempt to dig deeper into some of the issues that we discuss here at this summit. For example, what will the library of the 21st century be like? How will Amazon, Google, Apple, and their Asian counterparts impact and transform the book industry and the way we read books? And how do we reconcile our wish, on the one hand, to make knowledge as freely available as possible to the citizens of the world online, and on the other hand, the need to protect the legitimate rights of writers and creators of content? What will be the reading habits of the young people be in 20 years from now? How can we, the lovers of book and librarians, position ourselves to capture the many new opportunities that the 21st century presents us? Let me, in conclusion, say a word about America. I don't know whether, Congressman Clausen, you know that I've lived more than 20 happy years in your country. In spite of all your idiosyncrasies, I love America. And many people in Asia love America. Why do we love America? We love America not because you have the most powerful military. We love America not because you have the largest economy. We love America because of the qualities of the American people. You are unparalleled in your warm-heartedness towards the peoples of the world. Many of us would not have had the education we had in this country if not because of American philanthropy, which is a public virtue of this country. We love America because of your soft power, even more than we respect your hard power. And the Library of Congress is truly a national treasure of the United States. And Jim's vision and Congressman Larsen's vision in convening this timely summit to discuss something so critical to the future of humanity, the future of the book, and the future of the library is but another manifestation of the exercise by America of its soft power. This is why we wish America well. Thank you.
This has been a presentation of the Library of Congress. Visit us at loc.gov.